So here we go. Let's go through the standings one more time. Offie, ahead of this final step, is currently in the lead with 18 points. Gurnati in second with 910. Mutta in third, very closely followed by Arel in fourth. We have Gwen, Mossa around the same spot, and then from 7th all the way to 12th, it's super close. There's only 60 to 70 points differentiating those 5 players. And a lot can happen there with the point system, with the multipliers. And then there's a big gap down to the bottom 4 where they will fight to get better positions, most likely, as getting playoffs is a little out of reach unless you get a superb step. So it's going to be a battle for the win, a battle for the top 8, and a battle between the bottom 4 players for staying alive in the league. Here we go on to the very first map of the step, which is Launchpad. Launchpad, built by the developers themselves. We've seen this in 6-lap format, in 2-lap format, and here's back for the last time as the opener map to the step. Here you have to manage plastic driving and ice turns, and then in the ending you have to do a really difficult reactor booster jump across the stadium, turn the car around, and go into the finish mid-air. That is not easy to do. We know the man to look at here is Gwen, as he set the world record on the track in a live round last week. 6:24.72, the new record. And a lot of players in this field are close to that. Mossa with a 6:24.80. Mutta with a 6:24.9. They're all around that pace. And we also saw Kappa just 1 hour ago set a new personal best of 6:24 himself. But it looks like we have one more warm-up while players get themselves settled on the server. Now we're back on Launchpad for one full warm-up, and then we are going to start. So let's take a look at the warm-up. Who has prepared the best? We know Gwen is fast here. He goes for this high line on the start. That looks like it's going to lose time, but you have more speed across the entire grass stretch here. And it ends up gaining a little bit. That is just one of the tricks that Gwen does on this track. There's, of course, a lot of other things you can do here to gain time, such as a very precise ice slide here that Mutta will show us perfectly how to do. Mutta, one of the best ice players in the game. And here he went for a little bit much in the warm-up, but this is a map that really suits him. It suits Gwen. And we've also seen, I think, Mossa do pretty well here. At least he has a good personal best on paper, but all of what is in the past is in the past. They have one race coming up on this for the next 6 minutes, and there anything can happen. Only trying to set some expectations here going into the final step. Also, some eyes should be put on Bren today, as Bren is one of the players with the best 6-lap performance in the league. Some community members have ran stats on how players perform in the 6 laps and in the multipliers. And Bren is currently the second best performing player in the 6 lappers, gaining around 385 points in 6 laps alone, which is second only to Granati, who has gotten 450 points in the 6 lappers. So Bren in 12th place in the league, despite being the second fastest in the 6 lappers, really needs to get a big multiplier today. The 6 lappers he has been very consistent, but can he get a good time on the last map? That's really what should be his focus today. We see a very early mistake from Massa, plus 14. Must have failed big time. On the ice or the grass, did not catch that one. But here we go towards the first identity part, the jump through the rings. Gotta line this one up to get through. Brinks almost too high, but he saves his line. Looks like some players had to release to avoid crashes there. But after all is said and done, everyone survives except for Mutta, who clips into the start of lap 2. And that did look like a costly mistake. Will be more than 2 seconds lost there, 2.7 away from 8th place, so about 4 seconds away from the lead after that fail. And apart from that, it is anyone's game. Offie, though, leading ahead of Gwen right now. Offie really trying to defend his first place in the league. Only holds that gap by 18 points. But we know that Gwen can be pretty crazy when it comes to going for the 5x multipliers. In the step where this was the last map, Gwen got the 5x multiplier here and got 350 points total that step. So he really can perform Gwen when he is on a good day with practice. But Offie really wants this title. Both Gwen and Offie qualified to Grand League in the same season. That time they kind of looked like Otak and Mime did this year, where they were just levels and leagues above everyone else. Now, side by side here in the lead, the 2 rookies from last year, way ahead of all the other Tmgl players. Crazy to see how well they are doing on this map particular. But now a really close fight for the remaining 8, or the remaining spots in the top 8. The green positions, as you see, are worth down to 15 points if you get 8th place. And the red positions, you only get 5 points maximum. So 8th place, 15 points. 9th place, 5 points. You really don't want to crash like Papu just did, because that is going to cost you a lot of time. And we have a reset. Seems like something here has gone wrong on the technical side. So now let's see if I think we're missing Musa. I think Musa had a disconnect, but we are awaiting information here. Could be a multitude of things. Also, should be noted that Carl Jr. is attending an event in real life today, so he wasn't able to play the step. And with that, he also, as we look at the scoreboard and the league rankings, you can see that Carl Jr. in 11th will not make it to top 8 in the point standings. But there is still the final chance event happening next week, where he and all the other players that end up in the bottom 8 have a chance to qualify. Only one player will make it through that event, though. If we take a look at the match schedule real quick, you can see that December 12th, we have a final chance, and followed by the finals the week after that, where the winner of the playoffs is crowned. That's going to be a very exciting tournament. They are playing one lap format on all these tracks. So I think this, yeah, I have it here. These are the playoff maps. Poolside, high-paced map, really close rounds. Launchpad, this one has a shortcut when you're doing it in one lap. You have Pool Party, Bolt Holes, and Icy Snake. Very close maps for the playoffs. And I think that's going to be a real treat. That is December 19th. Bit of an early Christmas present watching that tournament. But yeah, it's going to be very exciting when that starts. But as we are still waiting to have the tech issue resolved, you know, it is unfortunate when these things happen. But at the same time, it's always best to just iron out these things early on in the step instead of later on. The players are reconnecting now and they've started driving in the warm-up, so we should be getting underway any minute with the first round. Just waiting here for the go signal. This does put a little bit of a spanner in the works now for all players. I mean, some players who crashed, like Papu, like Massa, they get a second chance. Whereas other players, you know, like Offie and Gwen, who were up in first and second, might feel like they lost out. But at the same time, there could be a boost in confidence. If you're driving well, you feel like you can do that again. And then, what's the problem, you know? But it's hard to adapt to these situations. But now we are live once again on Launchpad. Hopefully everything will go smoothly from here on so we can enjoy about an hour's worth of Trackmania esports with the 16 best players in the world, or 15 today, as we are missing the one and only Carl Jr. But let's see. The first map here, Launchpad, the players across the ice now. Gwen actually missing his ice slide. And we saw one player slide out on the ice. That was Binks, who lost his grip, falling off the track 4 seconds behind there, out of the opening. Much closer field here already, though. Only one big mistake in the first minute of driving. But we are coming up to the identity. Gotta line up this jump from far away. Soar through the sky and through the checkpoint. I think we saw one car go off there. That was Tween. Whereas the others did all make it. Very impressive stuff there. Massa almost falling off the edge, but he's still alive, just barely. Really pushing it close to the limit, though. Only leaving a couple of pixels between his car and the edge. A really good ice slide here from Massa. Another good angle. Should give him a couple of positions. You can see how much you can gain there in that one segment. If you're really good on ice, there are a couple of players in this field that you could call ice specialists. Mutta is one, Gwen and Massa really stand out in particular on ice, as they've practiced it a lot and they do really well whenever there are ice parts. So no surprise seeing Gwen and Mutta in first and second. This is something that really suits them. And you can see it here. Both getting a new fastest lap. And now the pace up front is crazy to try to follow. 1:03.3 fast lap. Fastest lap is very difficult to drive, even for these players. Some might not have driven that ever in practice. And now their opponents are doing it in a live round, so you really gotta deliver to keep up with the level here. Last week we saw, oh, wait a second, a name tag disappeared off the screen. I don't know who that was. Was that Grenadi with a small mistake? Dropping down to 13th place. Last week we saw Gwen getting a 1:02 fast lap and also a new world record on this track. 6:24.72 for 6 laps of driving. And I think they may well be on that pace again, because if you see this field stretched out like this, you know someone's pulling off some miracles. And Gwen, 1:03.04 fast lap. Now half a second ahead of Mudda, and then 1.5 seconds ahead of everyone else. And they are not driving bad pace here. Like, these players have not made any mistakes. They're just not willing to follow a madman into the flames of risking like there is no tomorrow. Gwen is driving ridiculously fast right now, and no one really wants to keep up with that. But it's a huge field, really close between everyone else. So you have to wonder, how long can Gwen keep this up for? How long can he drive that pace? I mean, at some point you push a little bit too much, you go a little bit too fast, it might end in disaster. But for now, it's a joy to watch as he is leaving the entire field in the dust and is actually well on his way to another world record, I think. 3 seconds ahead of most players, and they are still in a close fight. Want to remind you, top 8 get 15 points at least, whereas the 9th place, the first red position, only gets 5 points. Which is why if Scrappy here can overtake one player, he will feel much happier about his result. They are so close in this group right now. We do see that Mudda has actually not lost any further time to Gwen. He is keeping up on this 1.6 second gap. But I'm sure he's feeling pretty good about this run, and then he's looking at the splits thinking, what is going on up there? What is this guy doing? Gwen again delivering into the last lap, 5:19. There is no way. Gwen is about to beat the world record by 1 second. There's a, like, this man is so damn good at this video game. It is almost unheard of how fast he is at the game of Trackmania. Keep in mind, only 18 years old, Gwen. Still so much time. Oh, he released a little bit. I mean, he has the win secured. I don't think he cares too much if it's world record or not here. But so much to look forward to for Gwen in the next years in Trackmania. Really has sprung up into the scene, and now he's dominating them. Could be the next grand champion of Trackmania. Let's see here. Clocks in 6:23.15. A world record by 1.6 seconds. And let's say well-deserved 27 points. I think you could say that's well-deserved. Really great round here by all the other players. 6:28, the 8th place time from Bren. Barely beating Pack. And Kappa and Grenadi, who does not get the big points here. And Offie as well does not get the big points. So this is big for Mudda. Trying to catch up, this is big for Gwen. If you look at the overall rankings, you can see here that the 2 leaders here did not get a lot of points. Whereas Mudda, Aurel, Gwen, Massa, Papu, they're climbing. They're climbing fast. And we may see the regular season win come down to the last round like it did in Challenger. We're going to the second map. This is Bolt Holes. New world record set yesterday by Kappa, who has been practicing this week in an attempt to recover from the bottom positions in the standings. 7:54.54, I think, is the time to beat. This track is one of the longest ones, almost 8 minutes of driving. And it ends with this identity right here. The 3 jumps through the holes in the bolts up to the multi-lap. But then you have to consider, they do that 6 laps, meaning over 8, well, it's 18 jumps exactly without fail. If you're a little bit off on one of them, or if you hit a tree or something of the sort, then that is probably going to cost you the entire race. The level is so high that one such mistake immediately puts you out of the fight for the green positions. And they're also going for the most optimal lines, of course, in every single turn. It's the reason why you see such similar approaches, like jumping diagonally here, reducing airtime, and then starting from the widest point on the grass to get a smooth turn through it. Low wall ride to low exit. Here you see a bit of differences in what players prefer, whether they go tight or wide for speed. But then the jumps are going to be pretty identical once again. Just going to line up for those gaps and try to make it to the other side. 3 times per lap, 18 times in a race in order to win. And it is Kappa winning the warm-up here, who we mentioned has the world record and has practiced for this week to try to recover. Let's see how he does. Into the race we go. Oh, but he misses the gear, Kappa, early on. Small mistake at this level, but one that will put him a little bit behind. Speed's gonna equalize as they go down the hill here onto the road. No biggie, only about 0.2 of a second up to Packin first. Packin crashed really early on. Was that Bren? No, that was Binks, I think, with the bonk on the quarter pipe jump. Went a little bit too low, and this is not looking like the strongest step for Binks, who is right in that battle for playoffs, the top 8 spots. And if this trend continues, it could be a rough step for Binks, who's almost secured playoffs. Just needs one good last match here. Has to try to recover as best he can as the other players go into the first identity. Who will make it worker with a respawn? Looks like the others have passed it though. Aurel, oh, that's a big mistake. Cannot make the next jump, and that's going to be Aurel far behind in this one. Seems we've lost both Aurel and Worker, while the rest successfully made it to some degree. Scrappy with a 2-second mistake. Though not the worst crash you can have here. Let's follow from Masa's point of view into lap 2 here. Tween, who had the world record before Kappa, was currently in first, but being challenged by Pack. It didn't start off map 1 too strong. Here he is in the fight for first now. Really good jump for low air time. That's going to set him up at first. Smooth line across the grass too. So refined there from Pack. Just these little things that sets him apart from the others. As we now get to the identity for the second time. Kappa going for the left-right approach. This is so risky, but it gives him more speed. Tween has hit the wall, and he will not make the next jump. Tween dropping down Kappa. Oh my, extremely close to the wall. Masa dropping down as well with a mistake. 4 players now have failed the identity in the first 2 laps. And we see Offie and Grenadi, the 2 leaders of the league, up into top 8. Aurel, who is in 4th. Overall standings down in 14th right now. Not keeping up with the others. Kappa has gone too low on the jump. And Gwen, I think, is the one to clip the hole. But that was Mudda. Or was it? I don't know. Mistakes happened. I can't keep up. There's too much action. Looks like Gwen is still fine. Up in 6th right now. But just thinking of the implications here. Offie and Grenadi will stay ahead, but Gwen with 27 points on the first map, a fastest lap here so far. Gwen could be building up a massive scoreline if this continues. Because it's all about the multipliers in the end. Whoever gets the big multiplier today could win the season. Papu gets hit by the plastic off the track. And that will not be a good round for him. 7 seconds behind 8th place now. The gaps are increasing. Only Binks here close to Mutta. Apart from that, it's a 4-second gap. Just about. And for the players who are behind Binks, it's almost impossible to come back now. The only way is if anyone in the top 8 make a mistake. But these players are looking very consistent so far. And it does not look likely. 2 seconds now as Mutta's driving fast, extending his lead down to Binks. Almost catching up to Grenadi in 7th. Once again on the identity part, the bolt hole jumps. We see Bren in the distance go for it. Every single player here makes it. Let's turn our attention a little bit further up. Looks like all good. And the last one. All players make it again. A new fastest lap by Bren, immediately matched by a crazy 1:18.32 by Gwen, who's now again driving laps of world record pace. He is not on world record pace, but a couple more laps like that, and he may catch up to Brennan first. It's very difficult to beat 1:18.32. Low jump here, perfectly smooth landing, wide setup for the speed. He is going to get a little closer to Kappa here. In 3rd. But you can see Bren still driving the exact same splits as Gwen, so Bren up front driving a great run right now. He won this map when it was first played in 6 laps with a 6:56, only 2 seconds behind the world record at this moment. Was 1 second behind back then. And he really seems to have found the flow of the map right now, Bren. Looking for 25 points. Gwen trying the low air jump, but he will not make it, and that puts him behind Mutta. He's still in top 8, but only barely, as he's now just within 1 second of RL. Gwen tried to go from right to left to reduce airtime, and he almost pays a big price. But now, if he can stay there, 17 points possible, and keep building his scoreline for the multipliers. It's Bren versus Offie versus Kappa in the top 3, fighting for this map win. Offie to win the league. Bren clipping to try to get playoffs, and Kappa to try to avoid getting relegated. One player from different paths of Trackmania Grand League here. All in contention for the same 25-pointer. Who will get this one though? Who will step up now and try to close the gap? Only half a second between all 3. Offie, really strong lead to have before the identity. He can't afford to do the safe line where you don't go from right to left. You only go straight, but I think Kappa will try this to maybe catch up. He goes from very right to very left, but no, he clips. Has to take the booster to save it, and that will cost him a little bit. Still stays in 3rd. Bren try and catch up, but Offie will win. Ahead of Bren, ahead of Grenadi, who snipes for 100th of a second. And it will be Spam Pack, Mutta and Gwen in top 8. Aral with the Sour 9th place, Worker 10th, Papu 11th, Binks, Scrappy, Tween, and finally Massa. Important for Grenadi there to keep up with Offie. Only losing 5 points to Offie here, but still with a chance to win the league. After the first 2 maps, it's Gwen ahead of Mutta, ahead of Bren, Alfie, Kappa, Grenadi, Papu, and Worker. Now then, we have a quick little break, intermission segment. We have Clash Time, as it's called. Where, chat, listen up. You guys are going to control the car. This is Twitch Plays Trackmania. Every step has one of these, and we've actually never won. We have never won this. And this is the final chance in the season. Our next chance to win will be in February, so let's give this one our best, right? You can see the commands on the screen. Looks like it starts with a left turn, followed by a right. A lot of right turns here. Okay, guys, look, the first turn is left. Every turn after that is right. So let's think about this. After the first turn, I think we can all spam right. Is that a good play? I'm just looking. I think that's going to be our strategy. Let's start with left. Left come in right now. Type left, type left. Left. Good stuff, good stuff. Inside approach, baby. Look at us go. Left. Left. Oh, that's beautiful. And now we can all type right. Every turn after this is to the right. So let's work together and type right. Oh, okay, we lost a little bit of speed, but that's fine. We know the strategy. Right, everybody on right. I think it would be good if mods here ban the word left, because we don't need it. We only need right. Let's all work together to go to the right, because that's the play. Oh, beautiful line, boys. Beautiful. Oh, wait, there's a slight left. And we don't have any left commands, but maybe this will work. If we just hug the wall, actually good. Actually good. Full right, though. We need a full right. Oh, no. We need a respawn. We need a respawn. We are respawning 3 times. Let's try to go full right. Full right. Full right. Oh, no. Our win. Our precious win. It's still not over. I think we just spam right. We can still make this turn. Spam right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice. Okay. All right. Let's not go. Okay, we can. Oh god. Oh god. Oh. Just make it to the checkpoint. We have not collected the checkpoint yet. This could be bad. All right, we got the checkpoint. Mods, you can type RS. Good. Let's see. There's still plenty of driving to be done. We are behind. Looks like Kappa has finished, though. Wait, Gwen, actually, the winner. Okay, full right. You guys know the plan. Full right. Good stuff, good stuff. Go full right. Oh, that's nice. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, guys. Full right. There's a small edge. We need one left tap. One man in chat type left. Thank you. Okay. All to the right. All to the right. And now we just gotta aim to finish. Aim for the finish, boys. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We didn't. Oh, we didn't get last. We got 13th. It was the dirt part, though, that screwed us over. The rest was pretty good. But a little unfortunate. Alright, enough messing around. Let's go back into the action for map 3 of the step, which is Grasshopper. New world record by Mutta set 20 minutes ago. A 6:05. Mutta drove this right before the step began. And last week we saw Mutta try the risky strategy. This map has 2 tricks. You can either drive the identity part normally, or you can do what you see in the video now. The next cut here, where you land sideways and then do a slide and jump to the next platform. We don't think a lot of players are going to go for this, because it is very risky. It is very risky. But Mutta said last week he felt more comfortable doing that line than going for the safe approach. So we're going to go on board with Mutta here, and there is a chance he will go for it in the match. The final match that may decide who wins Trackmania Grand League. It could be him if he does well here and builds up a good multiplier. But going for this in 6 laps takes a lot of consistency and, well, a sharp jawline. Let's say that. In the warm-up here, will he go for it? If he does, he'll go to the left. Oh my god. It looks like he is gonna go for it, Mutta. And you can see now, if you look back, how much this saves. Mutta far ahead of Tween in second. And across 6 laps, this will snowball. This will snowball. Is anyone else trying this? I'm just looking around right now. He's gotta be the only one. He's gotta be the only one. I think we'll see 14 players safing and Mutta going risky. I think the others just don't find it worth it. But let's take a look. We are live on Grasshopper. We know players like Tween and Grenady are 100% gonna safe, as they did that line in 2 laps already. The others, most likely they will safe. We saw Pack and Musa go for the grass slide last week, but I don't think they will fancy it now, considering how it went that time. So after the opening, I think it's all eyes on Mutta. We know he said he felt comfortable with this, but 6 laps of this trick, it's mental. It's really mental to go for. He's going for it. Lines it up sideways, has to land, has to get the slide, and with this one he lost time. With this slide, Mutta lost time because he did not land in the upper gear. Okay, so a bit shaky of a start, but still alive. You need to keep over 230 speed in the landing to maintain the 4th gear. And that's where it went wrong here. We see Binks in the lead, ahead of Gwen. I think we'll stay on board with Mutta here. Follow the field. And see how he does for the second one. Because you are really going all in here. Once you go for the risky line, there is no hesitation. Like, you cannot back out anymore. It's either that or you respawn. So for the second lap, let's see how he does. He's only 1 second behind 8th, only 1.5 behind the leaders. He goes for it again. Lines it up sideways. Bug slide, that's a really good one, and he's gonna overtake a lot of players, Tween off the edge. And suddenly Mutta gained a lot of positions with this strategy. Second lap done now. That was beautiful to watch. Still needs to do it 4 more times here. if he is to find big success with it. Keep in mind, this is a strategy that he is using in a match against 14 of the world's best Trackmania players, and everyone else found it too difficult and too inconsistent for 6 laps. 14 of the world's best Trackmania players. He's the only guy doing it. This takes next level of balls to go for, and he's going for it for the 3rd time now. In 9th. Sets it up sideways, bug slide, instant cancel. Not the greatest, but not the worst, and he will gain time with this. Up to 8th now. Gained 1 position further. Halfway through the race. But how long can he keep it up? Will be overtaken by Pack for top 8. As we see, the others are very close as well. The players doing the safe line still have a big lead. It's gonna be hard to close for Mutta, even though he goes for the strategy. Binks driving really clean so far. Matched by Spam. Gwen right behind them. But guys, we gotta take a look here. Mutta once again on the identity. Everyone else going to the right. I'll go left. I'll set up sideways. And with this bug slide, I'll overtake all of you. Binks crashing. He's now up to 4th place with this trick. It's crazy to watch. Oh no. Okay, a small mistake. A small mistake from Mutta. Oh no, that's actually big. That just about negates all the time he gained with the trick. But he can afford it, because he has gained time in the identity. We see Gwen versus Spam in the lead. The youngest player versus the oldest in this field. About 9 years between the two. They're both at the highest level. I think Spam has been at the highest level of Trackmania for about as long as Gwen has been able to ride a bike. So, shows the generational difference. Where is Mutta? Oh, he got it again, up into 4th. So he went from 4th to 10th to 5th now. And they're in the final lap. He's only 0.8 behind Gwen in 1st. And the trick does gain almost a second if you do it well. So there is actually winning chances here for Mutta. With 6 out of 6 tricks, he will get the fastest lap. You cannot beat that lap time. Driving safely. But can he catch up to Gwen now in 1st? Almost half a second ahead of everyone else. With a clean, safe strategy 6-lapper. Mutta with more speed up into 4th. The final trick in the final lap. Sideways once again for the slide. He overtakes Spam and he keeps the gear. This is going to be Mutta up into 2nd. But Spam will overtake him once again. But what a performance from Gwen to win their 25 points. Spam in 2nd, but Mutta in 3rd with the trick. Offie in 4th, Grunati 5th, Bren 6th, Pack 7th, Kappa in 8th. Papu tried the risky strategy to catch up. It's a new fastest lap. Binks in 10th, Arel, Worker, Scrappy, Massa, and Tween. Papu sniping the fast lap there. But those are some huge scores. And I would be very scared right now if I'm Grunati or Offie looking at Gwen and Mutta. They have 69 and 58 points each, and those points multiply later on. We have one more 6-lapper, and then we're going to the multiplier rounds, where the Grand League regular season will be decided. Let's take a look at a map for Throttling Act, built by Banano. This map, it's interesting because its characteristic feature is a lot of speed and forced acceleration. There's a part here, the identity part, where the game forces you into always accelerating right here on the rails. So if you go too fast onto the rail, you can never slow down. You will just helplessly drive off the edge because you can't make the turn. So going into that part, you need to know exactly how much speed you can carry, because if you go a little too fast, it's too late. Now, in 2 laps, we saw a lot of players not wanting to win here when they had the chance in 2x multiplier and in 3x. And we also saw Mudda with a huge step win the 5x multiplier on Throttling Act. But the world record here belongs to Granati. It's a 6:08:40. It's the time to keep in mind for the world record. And many players have gotten down to around 6:09, 6:10 is where the benchmark is at. I want to take a look at Gwen here on the identities. You can see it. We'll just try to keep as much speed as possible across the rail while not going too fast. Same for everyone else here. Let's see how Massa handles it. Just onto the rail. Try to drive a good line. Now, after the checkpoint, you can accelerate as normal and continue to the next lap. So with that, we are going live on the final 6-lapper of this season of Grand League. Gwen with 69 points after 3 maps. That means that with a win here, he could get up to 94 points. It would be the highest regular season performance we've ever seen. And right now, Gwen is in clear first after just a couple of turns. But yeah, Gwen is really onto something here. You can kind of tell how hungry he is on every single map. But a close field. Arel with an early crash though. Same for Worker. Unfortunate for those players now. Arel was in the fight for potentially winning the Grand League now. It doesn't look too likely, but at least playoffs is secured. Here we go for the first identity. Some cars already flew off. Granati, the world record holder, fell off, and the same for Scrappy and Binks, I think. Both fell off the first pipe there. Kappa has lost a substantial amount of time as well. So big mistakes on the first identity, and this might really get dirty with so many mistakes in the first lap. Papu hitting the wall as well. Who can handle this the best now? The top 8 players have all made no mistakes, and the bottom 8 players have. So really already we are looking at a split group. Can the top 8 players now avoid mistakes? Because 2.5 seconds is a lot to try to regain at the highest level of Trackmania competition. Cross the rail again, almost off the edge there for Spam, but he stays on. Off the edge, and a big respawn. Falls behind Binks, who will overtake the 8th place for now. And Offie had a big chance there to gain precious points over Granati, but now falls out of the top 8. And Granati down there is driving a new fastest lap, so he's not gonna give up yet. Oh, Tween, no! This is a terrible respawn because you're kinda forced into a crash. And that brings him down. A new target for Offie to chase to potentially get out of harm's way here. Crashing into a checkpoint is one of the worst places to crash in Trackmania, as you're kind of stuck in a perpetual loop there. But he gets out of it pretty well. Manages to jump and avoids taking the double respawn. As the top 5 players, they all make it. Muddock will follow as well. And I'm curious to see, can Offie get out of the red here. He's so close. If the driving continues like this, then Granati is not getting out of the red. But Offie has a chance. Only need to gain 1 second through the next 3 laps against Binks or Tween. But the others are so far that he really can't catch up. Gwen, though, still in first, ahead of Brendan Pack, who are keeping up with his pace. Bren with the fastest lap. And an inside approach here. Was that intended? It did not look like it. Will Bren make the jump? Oh, no. Big mistake here. Bren has to stabilize now. Oh, it all is collapsing for Bren. One mistake will follow after the other. And all of a sudden, he goes down into 7th. Make that 8th or 9th as Offie overtakes. Oh, it's painful to watch. Just an really bad snowball of events there, where as soon as you're off your line in one part, it transfers to the next, and you can never stop the bleeding here. Though he might have been gifted an opportunity for top 8 as Tween with low speed here is just waiting to be overtaken. That is one of the most costly mistakes we see. Crashing before that wall ride just loses so much time. So Bren will be back in the top 8 with 2 laps to go. Now it is Gwen ahead of Mossa and Spam. And as foretold, Gwen could get 94 points before the multipliers here. The biggest score all season if he stays on the pipes and doesn't fall off. Looks all good. Oh, he has made a mistake here. Gwen did clip on the final jump there before the multi-lap. Mossa within half a second now. But still, whether it's first or it's second, if Gwen gets top 8 here, it is massive. And looking at this also, Offie in the top 8, Granati not in the top 8. Granati is losing ground for that season win. It may just be between Offie, Modda, and Gwen to win the regular season of Fall 2021 Grand League. Let's not call anything too soon, as Gwen still has the 2 rails to get past. The first one looks all good. Want to remind you, the world record, a 6:08.40. And this is going to be Gwen winning ahead of Spam by the looks of it. Oh, Mossa with the inside line to snipe it. Modda getting 4th, Pack 5th, Binks ahead of Offie, and Aurel will secure 8th. Gwen now 94 points overall. Huge scoreline. Modda's gonna have 77. Also an incredible performance. And Offie will have 62. I believe those are the biggest 3 here. 62 for Spam as well in the final step. The ways that this can now flip is crazy. If you don't know the format, I will do my best to explain it. But basically, we're going on to the last map. It's played in 2-lap format. The last map of the season is Icy Snake by Rocket. A really cool technical track with a lot of risk-reward parts. And in the ending, you do an ice turn twice, where good ice players will be able to show their strength. Modda has the world record here, and he's really good ahead of Mossa, who's also good on ice. Scrappy has a good time here. But the format, the way this works, they play 2 laps instead of 6 laps. They play 8 rounds, and every round there's only 1 winner. So if you don't get first here, you lose. Now, let's take a score like Tween's, because it's easy to multiply. Should Tween win this first round, he will double his points, up to 20 points. But if he waits until round 5, the multiplier gets bigger. He no longer doubles his point, but he triples, up to 30 points. And then if he waits until the 7th round, he could quadruple. And if he waits until the last round and wins, he could quintuple 5 times his points up to 50. So you could either try to win early and get 2 times your scoreline, or you could wait until later and later and get a bigger and bigger multiplier. 8 players will win a multiplier, 8 players get nothing at all. And then if you consider the case of Gwen with 94 points, if Gwen wins the 2x round, he would get 188 points. If he waits 1 more round after that, then he would get 282 points. And this really quickly snowballs. But I believe Gwen has a maximum cap here of 466 points. He could win this step. So yeah, Gwen could really win a lot if he wins the 5x. You see he's only 150 points behind the leader. 470. So there's a lot at stake. A lot at stake. But yeah, these next 8 rounds will decide who wins Grand League. And really, you gotta think about your strategy here. Scrappy already showing he's not interested in the 2x. And this will be the case for a lot of players. Consider the players, we can look at the points right now. Consider the players in this fight for top 8. It is super close between Massa and Scrappy for the points. If you're in that range, you do not want 2x, most likely. Maybe you'll be fine with it. Same goes for the fight for the Grand League win. There's a chance that players like Renati, like Offie, will retire in a chance to get a bigger multiplier. We'll just have to see. But here we go. We're coming up to the identity on Icy Snake. Let's watch the Master of Ice Mutta here to see how he tackles it. Wide setup into a very sharp turn. Early turn to the right here to get a quick line to the right. And then a really early ice slide with a lot of speed through the multi-lap. He will be matched by Massa and Gwen, who are both very good on the ice surface. Binks also showing up here. And I want to point out that Grenadi here, he's playing with a steering wheel. But on ice, digital input is better. So what Grenadi is doing on the ice there is he's using his one hand to go keyboard to do the ice turns to gain more speed. He switches from steering wheel to keyboard back to steering wheel to gain just a little bit more in that section. But we see Massa still in first, ahead of Binks and Gwen. And you gotta imagine that Gwen here, I think he fancies more than a 2x. I think Massa might just want this 2x to secure himself. Is out of reach for the win in the season, so perhaps a 2x will do here. But Gwen is close. We'll see who takes it. Gwen versus Massa on the finish line. And Massa wants it. Gwen DNFs. Already shows his intent here. Gwen with the DNF ahead of the finish line. So he was ready to DNF if Massa DNF'd. Meaning, yeah, he doesn't want 2x. But Massa will close the season, 846. That should be enough for playoffs. That most likely has Massa in his first Grand League playoffs after 6 seasons. That's the first time he qualifies now. So well done to him. But we see Pack and Binks really are at risk there. And Brandon, Scrappy, and Papu could catch up. That is the battle for the midfield. Pack, Binks, Bren, Scrappy, and Papu. Only 2 of those names that I just read out will be in the playoffs. The other 3 are not going to make it. Super close race here. Tween, of course, nothing to lose, only 10 points. Could try to deny the 5x in the last round. But here you see Grenady on keyboard for these turns, keeping up with the others. And then after this turn here, as soon as he straightens his car, he goes back to the steering wheel. Now he's back on the steering wheel. A really hybrid device driving here. Because if he had only used steering wheel, it would not be as optimal. Scrappy going off the track. He's gonna wait for a bigger multiplier. Same for Offie by the looks of it, as he crashed. But now you gotta start thinking. Pack and Bren in first and second. Do they want this multiplier? Bren has 57 points. Could he get a 3x later? Or is this his best chance now? No Mutta, no Gwen to fight. They're out of the fight here. No Offie either. Only has to try to beat Pack and Grenady in the ending. And to be honest, it looks like they all just want to get it. Bren trying to keep a lot of speed across the snow. That will pay off. He gets closer. Grenady off the ice. And it's Pack versus Bren in the fight for the playoff spots. Will Pack secure this one? No, both don't want it. Offie's gonna secure it. Offie takes this one home. And Offie has put all the cards on the table. This is Offie's final score. He was leading the league. He gets another 62 points. 1,052 is the score to beat. Now Grenady knows a 2x is no longer enough. If you want to win the season, you have to go for 3x. Mutta with his 77 points. Also, oh, he could get 2x. But I think Mutta's going to go for more. Because Gwen is going to go for more. So Offie the first to strike here. But once we get to 3x, if Gwen, Mutta, or Grenady win a round, they will overtake the lead. So I don't know what Grenady's thinking right now. Does he want this one? It would be weird to go for this one. But players like Kappa spam in the bottom fight in the league probably do not mind winning a 2x. Just securing some more points. Trying to get a favorable matchup. See Grenady open with a 1:09.17. That is the fastest opener lap we've seen all day, both Challenger Division and Grand League. Great pace there for Grenady. But a 2x would not be enough. So what is the strategy? Oh, spam crashing out. Banks with a DNF as well. And it is now Grenady versus Kappa here. For this 2x. Mutta's close, but yeah, I don't think so. I think it's Grenady versus Kappa. Onto the ice. Papu will join for the fight. Only 31 points though. And he probably wants a later one. Let's see what happens in the end here. Who's going to want this one? Will Grenady just take it? Grenady takes it. Grenady effectively says, you know, you can have the potential league win. I'm going to secure 40 more points. And I'm going to be happy with a damn good rookie season. 998 the final score. He probably knows there's so many players going for this 3x and above that the winning chances are so slim. He really doesn't fancy the lottery, and so now he's just gonna secure second place and see what happens. It's a risky strategy. Offie went for the same. Let's see how it pays off for them. Throughout the season, that has been their strategy, to get a 2x and to then rely on their good 6-lap performance to carry them. Whereas we see players like Scrappy, who and Mudda have gotten a lot of points through their multiplier performances. Always good in the 2 laps when it matters. Those two. And this is the final 2x round. After this, the multiplier becomes bigger. Now, a lot is defined up top. Still a lot open in the battle for playoffs. Scrappy leading this lap. 109.20. Great pace there. Want to remind you the world record here, 215.6 is the world record from Mudda. And Mudda is able to drive 215 pretty consistently when he needs to. Has shown over 6 215 runs that he got in practice, which is a time only 4 other players in the world have. Most players have personal best of 216, but 4 players have broken under 216. Mussa was one of them. I think Scrappy was another. And if I'm not wrong, I think Binks was the last one with a 215 time. But here we go towards the end. I don't think Scrappy wants this one. Kappa versus Spam, most likely in the matchup. As Bren might not want it either. We'll see what happens. Bren going across now. He has a good line, but does he want to win? No, he's slowing down. And Kappa retires as well. It's Tween. There's an army of DNFs as Tween wins. That was Scrappy, Bren, Kappa, and Pack retiring. And I don't know if Spam retired or crashed. Alright, Tween securing 10 more points. Gotta check how this looks now in the overall standings. Very close fight there in the bottom 4. Also, for the playoffs, Bren needs to gain 30 points on Papu and Binks. So now in the 3x, he needs to win. If he does that, he will actually successfully do it. Then they would have to go for a later multiplier to secure themselves. Bren with a really favorable spot right now. But Scrappy's also in the mix. And at this point, Scrappy for playoffs, he might have to wait for 4x. 3x might not be enough if the wrong players win rounds, so to speak. Gwen still hasn't won. Mudda still hasn't won. This is gonna be anyone's game, honestly. You gotta figure out your exact strategy right now while driving a world-class lap. What's the play going to be? I think at this point, Mudda fancies the win. I don't think Mudda would throw away a 3x here. I think he knows that this is when we're talking for real. If I win this round, I take over the lead in the Grand League. And then I put the ball in Gwen's court and say, okay, if you can get the 5x, it's yours. But Mudda here should be happy if he can secure a 3x. He's followed by Spam though, who's right behind, only 0.2. What will Mudda do in this round now? Still has the lead. Only the ice part left to overtake first. Can he do it? 2 turns to close it out. The first one a little bit wider than he would have liked, but he sets up the second one good. Spam is following, but Mudda still extending his lead here. Great ice slides. He has it. If he wants it, he takes it. Mudda wins that round 2:16.29. A great winning time. And with that, Mudda is now first. Just barely, but by 4 points. The maths check out, and he signs out of the league in first. The only player that can beat him right now is, if I'm not wrong, Gwen. Because Pack with a 5x would not be enough. and neither would RL. It's only Gwen. The winner of the regular season will either be Gwen or Mutta. But how can Gwen win? Could Gwen win with 4x? Yes, Gwen could win with 4x. Gwen could even win already. If Gwen wins a round now, he wins the league. Yeah, Gwen could already win here in the 3x. He has 3 chances to win the regular season like he did in fall 2020, but this chance almost goes off the edge. Very awkward line to recover here. Oh, that's a little wide. The difference is going to be 0.6, and against the likes of Spam and Scrappy and Kappa up in first, that is very tough to recover. Bren also there. Just 0.2 ahead, but that is so much more realistic to close 0.4 than 0.7, 0.8 now. Yeah, Gwen out of the fight for this. 2 chances remaining afterwards, unless everyone here crashes in this group. Spam though could be a great ending to the season to win this 3x and get a favorable head-to-head matchup against Worker, who is in last right now in the league. Scrappy is close. Tries with an inside approach. Okay, getting a little bit closer. The second one is better too. Scrappy could snipe this in the final turn with a more inside line. Will Scrappy take it? Yes, he will. Scrappy secures the last 3x. And with that, that is 76 points total, if I'm not mistaken. 78. He will jump up into 8th place right now. And Binks, Papu, or Bren need to win once to get the spot, but Papu clips the start. This round is already going downhill for Papu, 0.3 behind. Papu with only 1 chance remaining perhaps, because this is going to bleed time all the way until the drift. Here is where he recovers, 0.4 now. The gap up to first. To summarize, if Gwen wins 1 round, he wins the league. If Bren, Papu, or Binks win a round, they are in playoffs. That is what's at stake here. That is the only big flips that can happen. If Kappa wins a round, I think he could get a favorable head-to-head matchup as well. So that is what we are looking at. Gwen, Binks, and Bren right now. Papu too far behind. And in this round, Gwen opens with the fastest lap, 1:09.25. Is this going to be the victory run? 1 more lap of Trackmania, and if he stays ahead, he wins. 94 points after 4 6-lappers. The biggest 6-lap performance we've seen throughout the entire season. What a way to end it here. Can Binks get close? Oh, Binks really using all the space on the dirt, not leaving a pixel to spare anywhere. But Gwen is still extending this lead, building up to 0.2 of a second now. A dirt corner remains and 2 ice slides for Game Ward Gwen to win the season. Setting up wide here for the first one, turning in, gotta commit for the full counter steer. He gets that one good. The second one also good there. Is anyone gonna be able to deal with this? Pack trying on the inside, but Gwen with more speed, and with that, Gwen wins Trackmania Grand League Fall 2021 after a 94-point step ×4. Also one of the biggest point performances individually we've seen on the season. 376. That's a GG for Gwen. And now the 5x remains. This one decides who goes to playoffs. Right now, Scrappy in that 8th place spot. Probably praying that it isn't Papu, Binks, or Bren winning this one. Because if it is, then they will overtake him. Also, if Kappa wins, he could get a better matchup. If Spam wins, could be a better matchup in head-to-heads. Could Spam even make it out of head-to-heads? There is a chance, actually. Spam would get some 300 points here. And could get out of the head-to-head matchup. If he wins. Could be safe from that elimination match. From the Grand League, but Pack right now in first, ahead of Bren, who's played amazingly all season in the 6-lappers, but never really gotten a big multiplier. Now, the one final chance to do so, he slides out, and Spam goes up into first place, ahead of Pack now. Looking for safety, Binks has crashed out, and DNFs. It will not be him, it will not be Kappa. There are 3 players remaining here. Without mistakes, it's Pack, Spam, and Papu. Bren is 1 second behind. And it looks like it will come down to Pack versus Spam. And the gap is shrinking. 1 versus 1 here. Between 2 good friends who've been in Dignitas for many years together, then Expert. And now they're playing against each other in the Grand League. In one final round of the season. 0.10 of a difference before they go to the identity. This really could flip either way. Good luck to both players. First, Ice Slide, Pack with a wider setup, more speed, but late exit. Spam will be able to extend here. And Spam is going to have the grips on this round. One more Ice Slide, Pack trying, but no. Spam will win. And with that, Spam avoids the relegation match as he overtakes Carl Jr. It is actually Carl Jr. in the bottom 4 match. Something I don't think anyone would have predicted. But with 19 points on his side, Spam is safe. Gwen wins, Scrappy goes to playoffs, and Spam is safe. 3 incredible flips here in the final seconds. Somehow, Scrappy clutches playoffs, as Binks, Papu, and Bren did not get a multiplier. Very close. Very, very close there. But that means that playoffs in 2 weeks, we will have Gwen, Mudda, Uffy, Grenadi, Arel, Massa, Pack, and Scrappy facing off for the playoffs trophy. And we will also have 1 player from the bottom 8 to try to fight their way through final chance. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. What a step. I really quick want to thank Twitchy Muchi. I saw you gifted 25 subs earlier. Thank you so much. I gotta catch my breath. It's so interesting in the final step where, like, Uffy takes a 2x, you know? And then he just says, yeah, I'm done. All you guys now, try to beat me. Same for Grenadi, he did the same. Mudda does everything right. Gets a 3x, takes the lead by 4 points. Puts the ball in Gwen's court, who then has to win one of the last 3 rounds.
What a crazy match.
And then Gwen does.
GG's all around.
And Spam waits for the 5x to try to avoid elimination, and then he wins. That's just absurd. Mob, thank you for the resub. Dang Nabbit, thank you for the 3 months. Thresh, thank you for the 6 months. Tom Shorts, thank you for the Prime. Sonic, Sirabi, Anderson, Robin, thank you for the Prime. Twitchy Muchi, thank you for the sub. Thank you guys so much. Anesthesize, thank you for the 8 months as well. Bino and Labber Nitluch, thank you guys for using your primes on me. I really appreciate that. If you guys aren't following the channel and you want to watch more Trackmania Grand League esports, keep in mind that we will be back next weekend for Final Chance, the match where the bottom 8 players try to secure the spot. Do follow the channel if you're into that or any of the matches coming up. I also stream Trackmania on the regular. So really cool. Guys, guys want to do that. Thank you, Max, for the Prime. Thank you, Crooker, for the Prime as well. People can say what they want about the format, but it is certainly entertaining. Certainly entertaining. It's never over until it's over. Challenger was decided in the last round with Otak versus Mime. And this was also decided in the second last round. Really exciting. Raric, thank you for the Prime. Chapstick Bomber, thank you for the Prime. Why did Carl not play? He was attending an event. So, I mean, that's up to him, of course, to attend the event instead of playing. But that does put him in the bottom 4 now. And he has a job to do to stay in the league. Norway Cowboy, thank you for the 2 months. How does relegation work? Okay. I don't have the updated standings card, so we'll just use this one, right? Let's say, well, it's okay. No, we can go back here. It's Carl Jr., it's Kappa, it's Tween and Worker. So, Carl Jr. in 13th plays against Worker in 16th. And Kappa and Tween play against each other. Yeah, people shy. People shy. Everyone good so far? Carl versus Worker, and it's Kappa versus Tween. Good? Alright, all good. They first play against one another. So let's say Carl versus Worker, and Carl Jr. wins. Then Worker has to play against one of the winners from Open League, from the Challenger League. And the same for Carl versus Tween. Kappa versus Tween. So in Kappa versus Tween, if Kappa wins, Tween has to play against the winner from Challenger League. And if he loses, then he is eliminated. And the winner is promoted. That's how it works. Oak from Norway, thank you for subbing. Gummy, thank you for subbing as well. Thank you guys so much. Welcome to the vibe. Guys, I gotta get out of here soon because I wanna finish working on a video that I wrote the script for. I have to record it today because tomorrow I'm not home. I am visiting my parents. I've been here now for 3 weeks. I'm gonna go home, see my parents again for a day. But I first have to record a script. So I won't be staying for too much longer, but thank you guys so much. Thank you, Economy, for the Prime. Alial, thank you for gifting a sub. Remember to type my age, or should I do it? Should I type my age in chat? I have a week to get unbanned. Can you say goodbye with my dream? Goodbye, Nullcoin.
Let's go.
David Fool, thank you for the 3 months. So if you don't know, there's a quick way to get your account permanently banned on Twitch. If you're just a regular viewer. I don't think I wanna... Do I have... No, guys, hang on. The guy who did it got banned. You know... This is like when you're standing, like, you know when you're gonna jump into the pool from like the springboard and it's 5 meters up? And you look and you're like, oh yeah, I can jump from there into the water. You get up there, you look down and it's like, oh, it's a big gap. Do a chant? That would be the no. Tell me how to get banned? No. I don't think that's a good idea. Guys, we were messing with this. I don't think I'm actually gonna do it. Think about the content. But what if I'm not unbanned in time for next week? Because guys, next week, this is huge. Next week is gonna be so hype. I wanna show you something cool. All right. I've talked to Yuval, who's a great graphical artist. He's really good at doing graphical arts. And he has made a schedule for next week, which I want to show you. Right here. This is a draft, but I will be posting it when it's completely done. we are doing a week of IRL streams with Maji. And these are the plans. There are more stuff here that isn't listed, but these are like the main topics each day. Friday, we're doing Christmas decoration. Saturday, we're baking cookies. Sunday, we're duo casting Trackmania Grand League. That's going to be interesting. Monday, tandem Trackmania. 2 players, 1 keyboard. Tuesday, we're going Christmas gift shopping on Amazon. Me and you chat. Wednesday, we're rating Tinder profiles. Thursday, mapping contest. Friday, showdown tournament. A lot of good content. Maji's gonna stay at my house for a week and we're just gonna do a lot of fun stuff on Twitch. David Fool, thank you for the 3 months, and you'll be, thank you for gifting a sub. So do check this out. This is next Friday for 1 week, and we stream on alternating channels. So my channel Friday, her channel Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You got the idea. So 1 full week of streams. Doesn't this look fun though, chat? Does this look boring? This is a lot of fun stuff. And there's more that we didn't list that we're gonna do. Like maybe build a snowman, because there's a lot of snow. We could do a snowman building contest. Scrot, thank you for the 7 months. Now with that, I will end the stream. I gotta record the script, as I said. But I will see you guys again next Friday. Friday, mark the calendar, December 10th. And with that, who do we raid? Should we perhaps raid Spam for his last minute X5 clutch? We could raid Spam here today. I think we should raid Spam, congratulate him on saving himself. That was a good clutch. Let's say a hi in his chat. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for cheering and yeah, hanging out in the stream. I really had a great time today. Thank you. All right.